Episode 8 of MobLand confirmed that one of the Herrigans has been linked with Richie Stevenson since the beginning, adding to the paranoia-fueled intrigue surrounding the escalation of the fight between the Stevensons and the Herrigans. Harry tricked Freddie, Richie's goon, into spilling the beans that one of the Herrigans had been in on the plot with Richie the whole time. This would provide Conrad with further information about the Stevensons' fentanyl business. In the first episode of MobLand, it was never Archie Hammond who was executed for his alleged treachery. Since Freddie spilled the beans off-screen and was quickly eliminated afterward, we don't know who among the Herrigan gang has been trying to derail Conrad's fentanyl plan. Nevertheless, there are a few important individuals we can rule out based on context clues and their actions up to this point. There are still a number of viable contenders, but the storyline is building toward the betrayal of one individual whose actions make a lot of sense when seen in context. Conrad Herrigan has harmed Bella Herrigan and several other important characters, and their resentment of him compels them to join forces with Richie Stevenson to hasten his demise. Take Kevin's wife, Bella Herrigan, as an example. She had an affair with Conrad at a very young age. It is safe to presume that their connection was not entirely voluntary, considering Conrad's position during that time. Her contempt and disapproval are plain to see in Episode 8 of MobLand, when he promptly reminded her that their relationship is completely transparent. Since Conrad has been unfaithful to Mave for what seems like decades, it is not completely surprising that Bella could be engaged with his opponent. Mave is a proud Irish matriarch, after all. In fact, she has previously been spotted working with Richie to assassinate Conrad's cherished daughter, Serafina. Meanwhile, Delaney, played by Lisa Dwan, is the family lawyer for the Herrigans. She is suspicious because she knows all the family secrets and was the one who exposed the rat in the family. She can throw off the scent by starting there. Harry D'Souza is an interesting potential traitor because he is obviously incredibly bright and always one step ahead of everyone he meets. If Harry truly believes that his wife and daughter aren't safe around Conrad, which he certainly does, then witnessing Conrad's downfall firsthand may be sufficient incentive for him to start cooperating with Richie. So far, he has given the impression of being entirely faithful, although it is debatable whether this is genuine or the result of premeditated deceit. Not be a rat. We can safely rule out Conrad. And with Eddie having killed his son at Mave's behest, we can also rule out any connection between Eddie and Richie Stevenson. From what we can see, Jan's past with Alice disproves her ability to pull off a complex scheme of deceit and betrayal. Therefore, she is also likely to be ruled out. It doesn't appear that Serafina could betray her father, as she is completely loyal to him and has no reason to do so, especially after Richie nearly killed her. Kevin Herrigan's contacts with his mother suggest he has strong feelings of animosity toward her, but his feelings toward his father are plainly lacking. As the supposed heir apparent to the Herrigan kingdom, he may have grounds to desire their demise. However, he would also not be immune to Richie's fury. It seems excessive to assume that Kevin would be collaborating with Richie to plot against his father, even though his anger over his son's murder of Richie's son Tommy was understandable. Mave? Beginning with Conrad's murder of his friend Archie Hammond in the first episode of MobLand, Mave has been behind nearly every move that has diminished Conrad's position or stability. She has already demonstrated her willingness to endanger the lives of her own children in order to permanently harm Conrad by stealing his daughter. You can't argue with someone who is that proud and malicious, so it's not surprising that Mave would side with her husband's enemy to get even for his decades of adultery. Mave and Richie's past has come up at least a few times, so her treachery may have simmered for some time. It would make a lot of sense if Richie continued to be useful to Conrad as a mole. Otherwise, he would have informed him that Mave was the one responsible for the abduction, murder, and near death of Brendan and Serafina. Everything points to Mave as the internal enemy of the Herrigans, but that should be revealed at the end of the first season of MobLand. Hopefully.